Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This is Bob. And today I have my neighbor to the north, friend from the. Are you Toronto? Are you in Toronto, Chris?
I'm actually east of Toronto, actually.
East of Toronto?
Yeah.
What do they call Toronto Easters?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know they had a
I
name
know.
or something.
I know they call. I know Toronto. They call them Torontonians.
Torontonian. So he's
Mm,
East Torontonian.
mm.
Entertainment man himself. Chris. How's it going, Chris?
Good, good. Just been busy. Been swamped with a lot of things, and life's completely changed since the last time you and I chatted. Because you were on my podcast earlier this year, I think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember when it was, but it's been a while. Probably in the spring or something.
Yeah, it was in spring. That's when I was going through all that ailment stuff with my body. I was sick and everything else.
Oh, that's no good. You're
Because I
feeling
had,
better now, though, right?
oh, yeah, yeah. It was
Okay.
I don't know what it was. It was like, the Nova virus, I think it was called.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It just
how
hit me.
interesting.
It just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, okay. And then at the same time, my grandma passed away. She passed away at 98. So that
Oh,
was
well,
even
it's
harder on us. And then I lost two of my team members, Sophie and Chloe. And it's like nothing's going right. And now
had a bad patch, huh?
this year's been terrible. It's just
Oh,
been
no.
the year from hell. Literally, it's been pretty bad. But
Well, that's no good.
yeah, it's
So
this. Hmm?
I know you have more than one venture going on. Where I have you on for as entertainment man, and you just told me before we started, you're like, I haven't been doing as much on entertainment man. But your other show has taken off, so we'll talk about both. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. I'm sorry, of course, your grandmother passed away, but 98
Thank
is
you.
pretty good. I mean, come on,
It is,
we,
yeah.
if we all could make it to 98, wouldn't that be fabulous? But that's not in the cards
Mm-hmm.
probably. But so uh, so here's the other address there, Crispy on the web. But also, you can branch off from that to find his Entertainment Man content as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of Entertainment Man, so Toronto probably, would you say Toronto or Vancouver would be the center of entertainment for the Canadian culture?
That's a hard one. I think Toronto, because we've got so many different great shows out here. Degrassi was a big forefront of kids drama back in the 80s. That was a
Mm-hmm.
series that ran into the 80s into the 90s. Then that went off air, and then Degrassi's Next Generation came in to the picture in 2001, and it ran into like 2015. It
Mm-hmm.
did. There was like two different iterations of the show. Next Generation, and then they dropped the Next Generation. It was just Degrassi, and then it was Degrassi Next Class, and then they went off air. And there was rumors that actually they were going to come back under there was going to be new showrunners because Linda and her husband was stepping down. Steven, we're going to step down from that, but
Oh, really? I
yeah.
mean, it ran for a long time, though. I mean, that's like
Mm-hmm.
probably 20 years or more, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
add it all up.
Yeah, and then got all the reality TV shows here, Amazing Race Canada, Big Brother Canada, which is going into season 12 next year. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I've auditioned for it, but
Oh,
never
did you
got on.
really?
Yeah, but didn't get on.
Did you send in your tape, or did you actually go into something like an
Uh,
open audition?
I did both actually.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
did open auditions before the pandemic happened, and
mhm.
then when the pandemic happened, no, I didn't. I think I did both before the pandemic. I put in my tape, and then another time, Justin and I, who's an old colleague of mine that worked with me when we did the Intimate Talk Show back in the day, back in the 2015 and all that.
Mhm.
Um, him and I went. We auditioned. He got a little further than I did. I didn't even get callbacks, but it was kind of
Yeah.
neat. It was neat to I got to meet the executive producer, which was really cool in a way.
What
It was
what
an
was
experience.
what was that process like? So kind of walk us through, like when you went in, was it like a panel of people, or what are we talking about?
They actually split it into different groups. So one group actually had the one that did the voice of Marshall the Moose. He was in another group at one time, but I actually had the executive producer was there, and executive producer and the what do you call that? The casting director, Robin Cass was there too. So I got to meet Robin too, which was really cool. But
that's cool. So did they ask you a bunch of questions, or how'd it go?
They kind of asked you what. If you were head of household, who would you put up and why? And would you actually win competitions at the very start, or would you kind of lay low at the first part? And that was one of the questions they asked me. I remember that very, very, very well.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So they really wanted to see it. I mean, could you go in there and say, I've never even watched the show, I just want to be on it?
Oh, there's been people that's not watched any seasons that got on. There's been people that have watched one season and got on.
Uh-huh. Oh, interesting. I was just wondering, because then I don't know. I just want to be on the show. I don't know any of these questions. That'd be interesting. I'm surprised that they let people on who hadn't seen it before. Mm-hmm. So your money's on Toronto being the capital of Canadian entertainment. So, because Vancouver does a lot of production, but a lot of American productions are in Vancouver.
Yes,
not just Canadian productions, and so it's interesting. I'm sure there's some in Toronto as well, but if you know, it seems like Vancouver seems to be more of a production area for American television, I guess, because it's north of California. It's just easier to get there or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
So have you gone to any like tapings or anything of shows in Toronto?
Yep. Big Brother Canada. I went for season 6. I went to 2. Season 7, I went for 2. And then obviously pandemic happened and everything got shut down, and they canceled out the audience altogether. They just started bringing back the audience, but I think it's very limited now because of still it's an ongoing thing going on around the world. But it's a different experience. Like being in the audience for the live eviction is a lot different than watching it on the old TV. It's like, wow, it's so much different.
So is I guess you're a big fan of the show. Do you watch the show normally, or?
Yes, every episode. I'm a fan of both the Canadian and the American version. Same with Amazing Race too. Yeah.
Well, no wonder you're called Entertainment Man. Then that's a lot of time. You don't pay for the backstage or whatever, the stream that they do you?
So watch it on TV. Well,
no, they had I know Big Brother in America and the United States had some type of deal where you could pay for all access or something, and they did special content, and then you could like peek in at the house anytime you wanted on all these cameras.
No, not here. I don't think so. I've been behind where the house was. Well, not where the house was, but I mean, they were taking my former friend of mine to the bathroom area, and we actually happened to walk right by the walls where the house was, and we had to be very quiet because of the house guests were on the other side there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it's not really a house; it's like a part of a stage. Then, huh?
Yeah, they build it. Yeah, they build it into a house. Yeah,
make it look like a house, but it's all staged.
And the backyard is not outside; it's inside up here. So. A lot different.
I guess because of the weather.
And we are in March every year, so March until May. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine. But there is an outdoor area where there's a hot tub area. So that's outside, obviously.
Interesting. So, any other shows that you've been connected to?
America's Got Talent. I've watched down there. We actually have our own Canada's Got Talent with Howie Mandel. I've watched that, and depending how much it would cost, I'd love to go see an actual show. A live show would be cool.
So you haven't tried out for that one, huh?
No, I don't think I'm that talented for that.
I don't know. Maybe you juggle. Maybe who knows what you do. I'm just guessing here. So
yeah.
But that's interesting. So, any scripted shows that you're interested in that come out of Canada?
I just actually got into Hudson and Rex. It's a kind of like a cop show where you have the police and all that. They kind of investigate people going missing, murders, and all that. You have an actual real life dog named Rex, who's an actual cop, real cop, or what do you call that? Police dog.
Police dog canine, yeah.
Yeah, and its real name is Rex too, which is really, really awesome and cool.
So then, so what was the name of that one again? I didn't.
Hudson and Rex.
Hudson, okay. So it's kind of like a CSI with a dog.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Sort of.
It's hard to explain because I just started watching it. I watched an old episode with my mom, and I got into it, and then we just watched one last night. So we watched the first episode of the season. It was very fantastic. It's done in Newfoundland, actually.
Oh, really? So that's even further east.
Yeah, that's the East Coast. In the north, I guess.
It wouldn't be called the Littlest Hobo CSI, would it?
No.
You're familiar with the Littlest Hobo?
No.
You're not?
No.
It was a dog. It was a show about a dog who traveled around Canada. It was a Canadian show called Littlest Hobo.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's old. It's like, Lassie here in the United States, Littlest Hobo up in Canada, apparently.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I just know about it for some reason. So if you had to pick, current shows, right? Let's say current shows that are happening. Give me your top 3.
Does it have to be Canadian or American?
I'm curious about. Well, try to do Canadian. If you can't, we'll do American separate. How's that?
Well, Hudson and Rex is one of them. I think that's it. That's all I'm watching Canadian wise.
Oh my gosh! You have to support your home country, Chris. What are you doing? You only have one of your top 3 is Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And here I had the CBC on the other line here. I was going to bring them in. They're like, I'll have them come on. Not now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So what would be your top 3 U.S. ones?
Big Brother US, Amazing Race, and
there's Amazing Race Canada too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There's the American version. Those are the 2 I'm watching right now. A lot of the shows haven't even started yet because Sagra going on still,
right,
apparently.
Yeah.
But probably CSI would be on my 3rd one. CSI,
okay.
What's it called? CSI Vegas now?
Okay, yeah, there's a new one I think called Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
They can't stop making those things for some reason.
I know.
They move to a different town or something.
Yeah, it's nice it's nice that it's nice to have some of the characters like Greg came back, Catherine came back. You had Gil Grissom, and Sarah Seidel was back. But it was nice to see them, but I wonder how long they're gonna last. Who knows? It seems to be popular, right?
Yeah, it seems to be popular. I mean, yeah. Hilarious thing, Gil Grissom, there was a movie called To Live and Die in LA that he was in. Peterson is his last name, right? Anyway,
yeah,
good movie, an 80s movie. If you like 80s movies, so
I do.
So, if you had like a childhood favorite Canadian television show, what would that be?
That's a hard one. Childhood Canadian. That's a real. I don't even know.
No, I didn't watch any Canadian shows.
I think most of them were American. I think, but funny.
Terrible.
But one thing was when I grew up, I was watching Shining Time Station, and there's actually a railway called South Simcoe Railway, which I'm going to next weekend. I'm going to be up there with my dad for the day for a couple hours. Hopefully, get on the train. But there's a steam engine named 136. She was actually on Shining Time Station at one point. So there's a bit of Canadian-ish in that, I guess.
Okay, there you go. So whenever you're watching Shining Times, was it George Carlin, the conductor, or Ringo Starr? Do you remember who the conductor was?
Ringo Starr. I forget who the other one was.
George Carlin was the conductor originally, but then he passed away. So
Yeah, I think so. I think it was him. Yeah. Well, it was two of them. The first start at the start it was Ringo, and then he left, and then it must have been George Carlin that came in.
yeah, he came. I think Ringo. You're right. Was the first one, and then George Carlin came in after him. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so you're gonna have to get up on your CBC stuff now, Entertainment Man. I'm gonna have to shame you into supporting your country's media. So I have you have a show in Canada called Corner Gas. You ever watch Corner Gas?
I've seen a few episodes. Yes.
Okay, my favorite sitcom of all time is Canadian, which is Corner Gas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best for the sitcom model, right? I think it's the best example of a modern day sitcom that's out there is Corner Gas with all those characters. They do an animated version, which kind of is a little bit inspiring of my guy right here. But the Corner Gas was my favorite. I'm glad that you've seen at least a couple of episodes of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it didn't hook you like it hooked me, apparently.
I should. There's something I can do once I'm finished up with my podcast with Larry. Like we're almost finished up all the seasons. I should get into Corner Gas and start watching it from start to finish.
There you go. I'll encourage you. I think it's really funny, and it has a certain charm to it that really comes through with most of the more so than a lot of shows. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I would say I recommend it.
Yeah, it's done in. We were talking about this on my podcast, weren't we?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, yeah, because we were talking about that. I don't know how I remember that. That's hilarious. I remember that. I could start remembering all the conversations that we had on that. But
I totally loved Corner Gas I've watched it several times. Again, I watched it. It's almost like Gilligan's Island or something for me. I watch it over and over again. So
yeah.
Okay. So then let's switch over to movies, because you're an entertainment man. So it's all different media, right? So what would be your favorite movie of all time? Let's say.
Actually, here's something Canadian-ish. Locally here, where I am from. Remember the remake of the movie It?
Yes.
It was done here locally.
Oh, there you go.
So that's kind of Canadian-ish, yeah. And actually, my friend.
Yeah. So it was shot in Toronto. So Bill Hader and Finn Wolfhard and all those folks from the It movie. They're the first one, right? They've done 2 now or 3. I can't remember the reboot.
2 or 3, I think it was. I think it's 2 or 3 that they're done now. I think they're done.
Yeah, I think they're done. Well, that's good. So that's one of your favorites. So anything coming out that you're looking forward to seeing? It doesn't have to be Canadian. So I'm getting away from the Canadian only media. So because
it's already
just in general,
it's already out, and I haven't seen it yet. The new Indiana Jones. I've heard not very nice things, but I want to see it for myself.
I've watched it. You want me to tell you about it?
I'd rather not. No spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. Indiana Jones is in it.
Yeah, well, I know that. He's like 80 now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I haven't really been paying attention. Oh, the Mission Impossible. That was one of them I wanted to see as well.
They did the first part of, I think it was number 7. I can't remember the name of it now, to be honest with you. It was out, and they're going to do another part of it.
Really?
I'll watch it evenally, but Indiana Jones is a little more close to home for me. So I had to watch the new one, just to see it, even though I didn't have high hopes, to be honest with you.
It's kind of over now. They're kind of steering away from the Indiana Jones. I think it's just because of Harrison Ford's age now, being older. It's going to be tough on him, but he did a great job. He's been doing that since what, the 80s?
82, yeah.
It's a long time.
82. It's a long time, yeah. And he wasn't super young in 82. He was probably like in his 30s or something. So, yeah, it's been quite some time ago. But I will say it was a fun movie. I won't give anything away
Mhm.
since you haven't seen it, but it was a very fun movie. Very fun to watch and enjoyable, but not quite like the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what's something that you've seen recently that you thought this really is great?
I'm trying to think. What have I was trying to think. What I was watching a movie. Well, I watched it again Halloween because I did it for my other podcast. And actually, I thought it was great because I noticed some things that I'd never noticed before. When you go back and watch another movie, like
Mhm.
watch a movie again, you kind of like, I didn't realize they did that. And I'm referencing Michael Myers taking off his what was it, mask or something?
His mask, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the old Halloween from the 70s or the newer version?
78. 78.
So from 78, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the original one, John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that not long ago as well. And actually last night we just watched Halloween Ends, which is just a coincidence. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the first Halloween, interesting. It was very interesting. And I remember when it came out, I don't think I saw it then. I was too young to go see that, but it certainly was a cultural thing back then, and it's just lived on and on. I don't. What do you think the reason for Michael Myers' longevity as a character, even though he's not? I mean, let's be honest, he doesn't say anything really. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the longevity for that is?
I don't know. Like I thought when that doctor was shooting the hell out of him, I thought, okay, he's dead for it. I don't know how does he last being shot and all that. I've only seen I think 3 of all of them, so I have to go and continue watching. I'm gonna start watching 2 this weekend or something. But I mean, like I don't know. Like I don't know how it's like he's a cat. He's got like 9 lives. Well, at this point, they have like how many movies they have? Like 7 now or 8?
I think 7, yeah, or maybe more. I mean, at least 7.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But then it's
now,
like so he's got
one
like
of them
7
doesn't
lives.
have Michael Myers in it. I can't remember which one, but I think it's
Really?
Yeah. Season of the Witch doesn't even have Michael Myers in it. So
Yeah. Oh.
I think that was Halloween 3, called subtitled Season of the Witch. He wasn't even in that one, I don't think. I mean, people are yelling at the screen now if they're listening, like, this he was, but who knows? I'm not going to look it up while we're talking. So
No, me either. I think I've only seen 2, so I need to watch the 3rd one.
Well, that is the season right now to watch all those. They're all out there available. But I did think. So, are you a fan of John Carpenter, the director of Halloween, at all?
Yeah, like my former cameraman got me into all these horror movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Psycho. I've watched all the Psycho movies. They're fantastic. I'm still partial to the 1960 one with the original with the violins going off in the shower scene there. That's still iconic. Yeah. But comedy wise, I like Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. I did a podcast on the Dumb and Dumber movies, all 3 prequels and then the 1 and 2. I've done that. Like, I'm a big John Candy fan. I like The Great Outdoors.
Finally, a Canadian connection, John Candy.
Yeah,
the great John Candy.
Yeah,
a proud Canadian, former owner of the Argonauts, or partial owner.
Yes. They're doing well this year too. They're on top of the East. So I'm a big Argos fan. Yeah, I keep an eye on them. I'm a big football fan. So
Argos. So it's not just entertainment. Okay.
Yeah. Argos, Packers. Unfortunately, they. Packers are.
So just like the media, you're in NFL, the National Football League, as well as the Canadian Football League.
Yeah.
Your interest.
Yeah. And
That's interesting.
I don't have my flag up yet. I might not even put up the Packers flag, but I have a little flag I put up on the other side of my shelf there. But
Well, now my co-host Miles is a huge Bears fan,
mhm.
so he would not want to hear anything about the Packers. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I've been watching all your shows on YouTube there for a while.
He would not want to hear about your Packer fandom
Yeah,
and
well,
your cheese-headedness.
and
So, would you say that much like the media that the Canadians like both sides of the sporting stuff? So, like, I mean, because of the I don't know why the National Football League doesn't bring the Canadian Football League into it. To be honest with you, but maybe
I don't
I'm
know.
missing something. Is there some reason why they don't want to?
I think I just want to keep it separate. The American
I
football.
know, but they got the hockey goes across, right?
Yeah, yeah. I know there's a lot of Leaf haters out there. I'm a Leaf fan. Well, I sort of am a Leaf fan. I've been kind of holding back, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Like a lot of people, I don't know what's up with the Canadian hockey. It's just strange in a way. Like people like Montreal fans will hate on Toronto, and then you know the Western will hate on like other teams. Like I don't know, but
You think that they would, because there's integration with the hockey, that they'd integrate the football as well. I think you should start championing that on your show.
yeah,
Integrate all football in North America.
agreed. Yeah.
And I mean, it's only a few more teams, right? I don't know how many teams are in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, but it's not like they got more than a dozen, do they?
So we have Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. So I think there's about
Seven.
seven or eight.
Yeah. There you go. They can integrate those easily enough.
It's not as bad. It's as bad for basketball. We only have the one team, the Raptors.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
the Blue Jays too, who just recently got knocked off by Minnesota, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. So there
Yeah.
you go. There's precedent. We need to get this to happen, I think. So Entertainment Man, what's the breadth? So like where do you draw the edges of Entertainment Man? So would you consider, I mean, podcasts are entertainment. Do you look at those as well, or do you mostly stick to television and movies?
I stick mostly to television and movies. On the other, you're referring to the CBL-TW show. So yeah, I think we're mostly TV and movies. We've kind of steered away from reality TV because we did that for almost 5 years and we got tired of it. And the toxicity of the fandom out there was just enough for us to drive us insane. So we're like, okay, we're done with that. But we're mainly focusing on like regular TV shows. Hopefully January, I hope to do Full House. I'm hoping to start doing a Full House recap. And right now we're just kind of focusing on the movies right now, but I still have Power Rangers coming back. Hopefully in November sometime. I still got to work on it. I've been kind of, what's the word I'm looking at? I'm stalling on working on it. So I got to get to work on that this weekend.
Why have you been stalling on it? Is there something in the way, or just life?
Just life and other projects going on around the studio. I'm constantly recording Entertainment Man. You know, I'm recording and editing, and then that's taking up time. And some days I'm just not feeling like working on it. It's just like me sitting here watching it on my screen. That's all it is, and taking notes. Which, mind you, that's my little notepad.
Oh my gosh.
That's not all the notes. That's empty paper. This is what I have so far.
Okay.
You're gonna say.
So you mentioned Power Rangers, but you didn't say it was your favorite show. I'm surprised it wasn't.
It is.
Wasn't on there because I know you have an extensive Power Rangers kind of thing going on.
Yeah, knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could always add it as a fourth.
Now, the funny thing about the Power Rangers is it's really not only U.S. because it originally was a Japanese show that they just took parts of the fun parts and then they slapped a bunch of boring teenagers in it.
Yeah, it's the Sentai version. I think they call that the Sentai.
Yeah. What was the show that it came from though? I'm blanking on that.
Uh,
It wasn't called Power Rangers over in Japan. It was called something else.
Something Rue Ranger or something. I forget what it's called.
Mm.
If Larry was here, he would be able to tell me. He knows everything about the Japanese version. Don't ask me why. He's really into it. I think he's more of a geek in the Power Ranger. Sorry, Larry, if you see this, but
you're letting Larry down now.
Yeah, I think he's more of an expert than I am. I've been kind of back and forth. I've been sending him messages saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. They're doing a reboot. Maybe something we can look at." And we've been going back and forth on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So there's been a bunch of different variants of the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you an original Power Rangers kind of guy or one of the variants?
I've watched every season. Well, I'm working on Beast Morphers now, but I'm still partial to the Zordon era, meaning Mighty Morphins, season 1 to 3, CL, Turbo, Space. Those are the ones I'm still partial to, even now, being so far deep into the series now.
Yeah.
The franchise, yeah.
So do you think, what do you think that is? Because it was different at that time, or what do you think the attraction is to those original ones are?
I think it's just the original cast, like, having Jason David Frank, which is going to be a year next month since he passed away. Right. And then you're having like all the Catherine, and you have Rocky, Adam, Aisha, and you got Zach, Kimberly, and Billy, and so forth. All those characters.
Do you like the bad guys? What is this? I can't remember their names now.
Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed, or as they call him, Ed.
No, the teenage bad guys.
Bad guy.
Skull, and what was his name?
Vulcan Skull.
Vulcan Skull, that was it.
I follow the actors actually on Instagram.
Oh, really? Yeah. Have you ever gone to any one of those like meetups or cons or anything that they've had to meet them?
I think, who was it? The one that played Aisha. I forget her name. Not Nakia. I forget the lady's name, but she played Aisha Campbell when she replaced Trini later on. She was actually up in Toronto, actually. Mm-hmm. So they actually, what was it called? Fan Expo. Toronto. Fan Expo. Yeah.
Do you go to any of those expos for anything else, or no?
Not really.
Not into the Comic-Con scene kind of thing?
I want to, but I have nobody to go with. I don't think it's my dad's thing, that's for sure.
You don't think he wants to go see it?
Yeah. I would have to maybe have to drag Larry out one Saturday or something if he's not busy.
Please go by yourself, can't you?
True, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't like to go by myself to those things either. So you're like, then what do? You don't have anybody to, bounce ideas off of or anything. Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to share it too, especially if Larry would be one. And I think we've talked about going down the road, and that never happened, apparently.
Yeah, you should think about it. If they ever have one of those things, that might be something to do.
Yeah, it's in August. Actually, it's in August, and middle of August, end of August. We have a whole slew of things going on in Toronto in August. We have the Canadian National Exhibition, which is all the rides and all that, and then you have Fan Expo going on. It's crazy.
That's wild. So, so we know that you like the Power Rangers. Is there anything else in that kind of vein that you like? Like the new One Piece was on Netflix recently, which is, for all intents and purposes, a Japanese import. What do you think about that kind of stuff?
It'd be interesting to check it out. But I probably Simpsons. I'm gonna try to get back into Simpsons this year if it airs on time. I don't know what the story is on the Simpsons. I want to get into the new Futurama. I want to actually I gotta watch the old seasons first. But,
so you haven't seen the original Futurama thing?
I've seen episodes, but I want to do a binge. So I have.
Okay.
So I have Corner Gas and I have Futurama to watch. I got two different.
Futurama's good. I've watched all of those. I think.
Yeah.
Well, at least all the original ones. Maybe not the They got kind of an extension. They were gone and then they came back. I don't know if I caught all those, but it's fun. It's a fun show.
I don't know if Katie Seagal's voicing Leela. I think she was.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And Billy West was Fry, right? Wasn't he? So,
yeah. I don't know who did Bender though. I forget.
Bender.
I like bite my
Do
shiny
your
metal
best
ass.
Bender impersonation.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Sorry, that was too funny.
That was one of it. I remember what Fry said. It's not that shiny.
Bender's hilarious. So there you go. You should work on your Bender costume for when you go to Fan Expo.
Yeah, for sure.
You could be Bender.
Maybe they'll come up for that. I would love to see Katie Seagal or Billy West up here. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think Billy West did Bender as well. To be honest with you,
really,
I can recall. Yeah, I think he did both voices.
Yeah.
So then, so if you had, I've gone through this a little bit, but if you had to pick a movie, top 3 movies for Entertainment Man, what would they be?
Great Outdoors would be one. I would probably throw Psycho in there as a horror movie, and probably the Naked Gun movies. Those are pretty funny. I like those.
Okay, so you kind of trend towards comedy for the most part, although Psycho is definitely not a comedy, but
that's a horror.
So have you seen any other Alfred Hitchcock things? Because Alfred Hitchcock did the original Psycho.
Birds.
How do you like that?
Freaky. That was freaky.
Have you seen Marnie, by the way?
No, I haven't. I should.
Okay, that's a Hitchcock movie. I would say that's as close to a comedy as Hitchcock would ever come, because it's not a comedy, but in light of the changes over time, to me it feels kind of, funny.
Yeah, I saw they did a movie about Alfred Hitchcock. I forget what it was. It was a movie in the 2000 or 2000.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
One was Anthony Hopkins played Hitchcock, and the other one, I think Toby Jones played Hitchcock.
Yeah, I forget which one.
Yeah, one was about the birds a bit.
That wasn't it. No, it was the one about Psycho. Kind of how
Psycho.
Yeah, it was more about Psycho, and then he still had the epic. Yeah, that sound effect. Or is that a sound effect?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I love when in the horror movies, I love when they kind of play the intense music, like that, like the little piano riff they play on the for Halloween, or the dun 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 on the Psycho. You know something's gonna happen. But
they're setting you up, huh? You think they're setting you up? So, did you know John Carpenter wrote the music for the original Halloween? That's the director.
I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah, you should check it out. He does actually a lot of music for his movies. So especially his older movies. He did the music in Fog, which is another old John Carpenter movie, and he did some music for Escape from New York as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird, yeah.
Because that's not your usual, Although James Cameron did music for Terminator, if you ever seen that. So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's the director of Terminator. He did some of the music as well. But I think that came from. So Cameron came from working with Roger Corman. You know who Roger Corman is? The old. He's an old '60s director who had his own movie studio of sorts and made a bunch of terrible, terrible movies over the years. One of the first movies that James Cameron directed was called Piranha. I think it was Piranha 2, actually. I don't think he did the original Piranha, but that was a Roger Corman movie, and they just worked really, really cheap. So that's a whole other area that you could get into, is Roger Corman movies, because Jack Nicholson worked with Roger Corman, and James Cameron, a bunch of very who became really popular actors and directors worked with Roger Corman. So I know an area to investigate.
Yeah, I know Jack Nicholson really well. Anger Management was a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shining.
The Shining, yes.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, yes.
yeah, that's a classic. The Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
I think that was a kind of a rip off of Johnny Carson. I think it
Right.
was, but
Yeah, they were trying to go for that, I think.
But I think what I've read, actually, that was not actually supposed to be what I heard. That was improvised, what I heard. But I don't know if that's true, but I have to look into it more. But
I think it was. I think I heard that story too, where he busted through and then stuck his head up there and said, "Here's Johnny."
Yeah, that crazy look on his face. That was
right.
That's gonna be one I gotta do in my list. Is Shining.
Shining. So, did you watch any other Stanley Kubrick movies? Because he made The Shining.
Not really. Oh, I think I saw the Batman movie he was in. Jack Nicholson. I forget which Batman was it. Original.
The original one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm big into the action pack stuff too. I like the like Batman, Spider-Man was another one. Superman, I watched a couple. I've seen I think one of the Superman movies. I watched Supergirl recently, I guess in the recent years.
On the
throughout
WB
the pandemic,
yeah.
With
CW, sorry.
Yeah, CW. I'm trying to remember the girl's name. Melissa Benoist.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've not watched the series. I don't think I've watched really any of the DC series, to be honest with you.
Well, it's over now. They've stopped. I think 5 or 6 seasons. But my friend Eric, big shout out to him. I'm giving shout outs here for no reason for free. They gotta start paying me for this. But he got me into it. But he said, "Here, take the DVD, watch it, and let me know what you think." And he gave me the first 2 seasons, and then I started watching 3, 4, 5, and on, and like, this is good. It got weird, but it was good in a way. So
okay, so that wasn't even on your list either. The top 3, but you liked it though.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then, what? So what do you think is coming up for Entertainment Man? So obviously we talked about. I'm forcing you into watching Corner Gas, your own Canadian show. But other than my suggestions, what's on the docket?
There was. I'm trying to remember. There was a show I wanted to watch, and I forget what it was. It was a show that Eric got me into. I forget what it was. It's not on the air anymore. I forget what it was done in a classroom or something. I forget what it was called. It's gonna bother me now. That's gonna kill me to remember.
Head of the Class?
No, I forget what it's called. I forget what
it was a classroom show.
Yeah, it was. I think so. I forget what it was called. I have to ask him. I would have to text
The Faculty.
Him. No, I don't remember. Man, it's gonna bother me. But I am going to be doing Corner Gas. Will be on the list. Full House, because I'm going to be covering that on my own podcast. That's going to be on the list. Fuller House rewatch. I'm going to probably do Monk. Monk's another show I like. It's it's a detective series, and
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, that was great. But that's what.
So again, where you at on the? What was his assistant's name? The first one,
Sharona.
Sharona. Well, you're on the Sharona asked for more money, and they got rid of her.
Yeah, and then she threatened to quit like 100 times.
Yeah. So did she didn't come back though, did she? They got rid of her at one point, didn't they?
Season 8, she came back for a guest appearance.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was. I mean,
Home Improvement is probably on my list too for a rewatch. There's a couple of shows I want to do on a rewatch. Because Home Improvement's awesome. I love that show.
What's the attraction for Home Improvement? What do you think it is?
It's just funny. It's it's a comedy. Tim the Toolman Taylor, or more like Tim the Accident-Prone Taylor, as they called him. He always screws up. Don't touch the dishwasher. I remember that. Yeah. Season 1, episode 1. Yeah, but there's rumors that they are going to do a reboot too. But I think there's another one that there was a recent. What's it called? It's an old show from the 90s. The guy that did Sexual Bob's voice. Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, Fraser. Yeah, Fraser's
Fraser.
coming back.
Yeah, that's the one I want to
Fraser.
check out too. I want to see
Yeah,
how.
that's on Paramount, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the old one, and then I don't think though that I think he's the only one coming back. I don't think, uh, as far as I know, none of the other characters are coming
Yeah.
back. So,
I suspect his dad wouldn't be still.
well, I think he passed away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his brother Niles is on to other stuff, so
Yeah.
he's not. I don't think he's going to be doing that. He was in Spam-A-Lot on Broadway and stuff. He's a more of a stage actor originally, I think. So
a lot of them are for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So lots coming up. I mean, you got lots to do. You have to get some more paper, I think.
I got plenty. I got my. Where is it? I'm just gonna pull it.
Oh, there you go.
And I got, and my right next to me, I got a drawer full of paper, so I got lots. But I keep staples in business, that's for sure.
So then, so I've got on the screen that Crispy on the web, and she said lots of stuff was happening with that. So tell us a little bit about that before we wrap up.
CrispyOnTheWeb.com is busy. Kelsey and I are preparing for the 10th anniversary of Crispy on the Web. That'll be next year.
Oh, wow.
November 14, 2024. We're going to have a bunch of online events, I'm sure, through the Facebook, Instagram. We'll have some streams going on. I'll be hosting most of them. Probably every second week, I'll do some fun kind of stream. Continuing with Entertainment Podcast, I have an interview at the end of the month. I look forward to that with another, I guess, fellow podcaster. Him and I have connected, and probably I'm going to be on his podcast down the road, I'm sure.
What's this podcast? Tell us what it is. You gotta look it up here.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. Matchmaker is that's where we connected. I think.
Yeah.
Or no, I don't know. Was it
Matchmaker? I can't remember, to be honest with you now.
Yeah, it's been a while. He is founder of Market Boost. So it's the company he doesn't have a I think he does have a podcast. I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. I'm not totally sure. He said I can have you on my podcast down the road. We can do vice versa. But he's into the marketing, personal brand sales, entrepreneurship, fundraising kind of stuff.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
That's coming up on October 27th. If he doesn't keep changing, if the schedule keeps changing, I'm confused. He rescheduled it to November 2nd. But it still says on my Calendly October 27th. So I've been trying to reach out to find out. But other than that, CBOW show continuing with the spooky month. Got horror movies every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And hopefully November Power Rangers returns back on the air. Hopefully.
But Larry's got to be there for that because he's the one that knows all about it, apparently, right?
Well, he's my senior producer and co-host, so.
Oh, there you go. It's the senior that gets him the advantage.
Well, he is older than me by a few years. He's going to be 41. I'm going to be 38, so.
Oh, my gosh. You're so young.
Yeah. Time goes by fast.
Yeah, it does. But it sounds like you're doing some interesting stuff, and you're... keeping people entertained with Entertainment Man. And I think you should branch out into doing podcasts now. Since you're talking to people and everything, you should do a little bit on that during your Entertainment Man stuff, like maybe Chris's Podcast Minute or something, and then you could throw some stuff out there on all these different things that you get involved with,
Yeah. Well, I got Entertainment Man. I got Entertainment Man podcast. I can do that on easily.
That's what I mean. Yeah, do it on there.
Yeah, this weekend.
Hey, by the way, you should watch out for this thing or watch out for that thing. I don't know.
I could say officially, it'll be this weekend's episode is going to be talking about returning to YouTube. So that's going to be an interesting one. I have it written, but I don't have it recorded yet. I'm going to probably do that after we're done. I'm going to take a half an hour break, and then I'm going to get back on behind the microphone again and get back to work.
So then, are you on Rumble as well? I'm just curious.
Just YouTube, youtube.com/@entertainmentmanpod. And the CBOW show is only on audio only. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, all the different platforms out there. Entertainment Man, you can find it everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music. You can ask Alexa to play it. I'm sure she will. iHeartRadio, that's a big one. But I'm everywhere for that one.
Well, that's great. Doing great stuff. Hey, I was going to tell you another one. Schitt's Creek. You probably should watch that one. It's Canadian.
I've seen it. It was an awesome series. Why didn't I not even mention that?
That's Canadian too. So,
yeah, it's not far from me either. I'm north.
Yeah,
just north of where I am, so it's pretty close.
So they're North Torontonians.
Yeah, that was with Canadian actors.
Eugene Levy,
Dan Levy,
yeah,
and then Catherine O'Hara from Home, as we know
Home
her
Alone,
from
right? Yeah,
Home Alone 1 and 2.
Yeah,
she still looks good even for her age now. She looked really good. Funny.
Oh, she'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah,
she might be on your show just because you said it that way.
Well, that would be awesome to interview her. I would go haywire on that. I love how she freaked out all the time. I used to call her the crazy lady all the time. Oh, actually, that was Lois from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's another old comedy I used to watch with
in the 90s.
Yeah, 2000 actually.
Oh, the 2000? I thought it was the late 90s. Maybe I'm wrong.
2000s. Actually, I share the same birthday and year as Frankie Muniz. December 5th.
Oh, really?
December 5th, 1985. I share it with him, which is kind of cool.
He's a race car driver now.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah, you should look at us. I'm telling you all this stuff. You better be writing stuff down. Well, I guess you can listen to it after I post this. So.
Yeah, the VOD, the video on demand, which is there probably in a few hours. Yeah.
Catch it on YouTube and then also in audio on Static Radio. So,
yeah.
Chris, thanks for being with me today and having a conversation. And we've opened up all kinds of interesting stuff. I'm not a Torontonian, but I am a Canada-phile. I love Canada and all of the interesting things that happen up there, even though most of people in Canada live close to the United States, which is kind of funny, but probably just because it's warmer there. But, most of the population is right on the border. So,
yeah, true.
Yeah. So take care, and everybody watch. Go to Crispy on the web. Look for Entertainment Man Podcast, where all your fine podcasts are going, or where you go for them, and see what's happening. You can check out DJ and the twins on the Full House recap.